deal with one kill tonight.
Hello guys, Absolute Genesis here, and I have a deck profile on my Nova Grappler Riser, or just like standard Nova Grappler deck. This is, I believe, my second standard deck that I actually began with. First was Kagero, then I proceeded to go with Nova Grappler because, you know, it's one of the few clients that was out already. So, let's go ahead and just get a deck profile. So, of course, just run 4 Excels. I actually mainly just use one.
Move it back a little bit.
I mainly just use one, as the main issue is the fact that Nova Grappler has a lot of hand issues. So most of the time I only reach just one.
I'm gonna play that a little bit.
So, you know, just Kamui. Good old Kamui. Kamui the Great, yeah. So then we have 4 of the Perfect Risers for grade 3. Of course, he's the main grade 3 you want to ride. You know, Excel marker, bring him out. His main skill is that when you attack with him, you can counterblast 2 cards and stand 2 front row rear guards. So that means you can like stand up an Excel circle, or just like, yeah, mainly you want to you mainly want to stand up an Excel circle. And his second skill is if his attack hits, then you can countercharge 1 card and add 5,000 power to a unit. So he's your boss monster. Next grade 3 is Battledore Fighter. His first skill is, I believe, Counterblast 1, Soul Blast 1. Choose one of your units for that battle and hit that unit. And that unit attack is during this turn while your opponent calls Guardians from his or her hand. He or she must call 2 or more Guardians at the same time. So you normally don't ride them as the Vanguard, only in case you don't have a Perfect Riser in your hand. But they're mainly as a rear guard because their second ability is because the first ability is Vanguard, and the second ability is a Vanguard and rear guard skill, where if you have 3 or more rear guards, you can add 5,000 power to it. So, just good beat stick. So that's grade 3 lineup. Next, we'll get on to grade 2s. So starting off, we have 4 high power Razor customs. Basically what they do is Vanguard rear guard. When they're called out, you call a Battle Riser out of the soul, which is your starter. And when their attack hits, Vanguard rear guard, you can move into the soul and restand a rear guard. I'm not really sure if that actually counts for itself if it is a rear guard. It probably might, but I'm not too sure about that one. Next we have 4 Iron Killer. These guards are good beat sticks. They're basically mini Battledore Fighters, to where Vanguard rear guard, if you have 3 or more rear guards, that's plus 5,000 power. So technically you only need like 2 other rear guards if you have this guy on rear guard. So he's great. And I run 4 Burst Riser. Some people might run some of the hero cards. I prefer to keep mine kind of Riser-ish because I like mechas. And this card can also be great for kind of like some early game rushes. As after your Vanguard attacks, you Counterblast and Soul Blast 1, and you stand this unit up. And if your opponent's Vanguard, or just your opponent's at 4 or more damage, he's an extra 3,000, so that can help against other Excel clans or Protect clans. So, and just put him on like an Excel circle, and boom, you have like a 22k attacker right there. Next, we're going to go on to grade 1s. So starting off, we have 4 Riser customs. I like the Riser theme. If you ride him first turn, move a card in soul, go ahead and get a damage off. Or you can use him as just kind of like a Riot Horn from Beast Deities. And basically, just when a unit in the same column as it stands back up, it also stands back up. So you can basically just set something up with that. Next, we have possibly one of the better grade 1s in this deck, and we have 4 Jet Risers. Almost every single Nova Grappling deck runs this. When a rear guard is called, add 3,000 power to him. So you can probably call him out as one of your first rear guards, and then just proceed spam the field with other cards and basically just build him up really high. And then we have 4 Trans Risers, I believe. Their skill is when it boosts, you Soul Blast 2, Countercharge 1, and if that attack targets the Vanguard, this unit gains plus 3,000 power. I rarely ever use that skill. because one, most of the time I use Soul for other things, and two, I mainly just use him as an 8k booster, and also just run one Rocket Hammer Man. He's just kind of in there because I just needed something to fill in the grade 1 slot. I know I could have like made this more hero oriented and added more of him, but I just have him in just, you know, if I get him to boost Battledore Fighter, you know, I'll call him, or just maybe just first turn ride or something like that, you know, just something to help fill in that grade 1 slot. Because I'm not running Death Army guy, because I remember running that originally, and he became basically a dead weight in hand because you couldn't drop him for shield. Alright, so now trigger lineup. Now this trigger lineup is, or trigger lineup in grade 0. This trigger lineup is a bit interesting, as I actually run no crit. This is actually a complete front trigger spam fest, as I like to call it. You have 8 front triggers. Now, a lot of people will be like, wait a second, that's really stupid. It is, but it can actually be very good, because the fact that your opponent's going to be like, oh, hey, like, I don't have to worry about a crit, like, I can be able to do this. But here's the issue, though. Because the fact that I run 8 fronts, I can, if I have the proper field setup, which I actually will show you guys a good field setup with this, to show you guys, like, how powerful this can actually be. So, don't underestimate front triggers. Your opponent may not be running crits, but front triggers will mess you up. Then, of course, you know, the 4 draw nullifies. Some people may actually, like, you know, do 4 of these, 2 of the wrestler guy draw triggers, and just maybe 6 of those, 6 fronts. But, you know, nullifies, great. 4 wall boys, you know, you gotta run your heals in your deck, you know, unless you're, like, insane. It's like, I'm not gonna run any heals, I'm gonna run crits instead. Of course, your starter, Battle Rise, your standard skill, ride over it, you draw a card. So, to show the case where front triggers would be really powerful, would be, let's say, you know, you have Battle Riser as your Vanguard. I'm not gonna do this with any boosters or anything like that, but you have Battle Riser here. You have an Excel Circle right here. So this is actually kind of like a showcase of what I had earlier. I'm actually gonna go ahead and call boosters. So we have a we have a Burst Riser right there. We have a Battledore Fighter, and then we have a Iron Killer right here. Then let's see here. Let's call out a couple of grade 1s as well. So let's say I had this and this here, and maybe it's kind of like, you know, just kind of a random Trans Riser right there. So let's say I have this, all right, and I'm taking an approximation like, you know, 4 cards in damage then. You know, flipped up. You know, I'm just gonna grab some cards right here. There's 4 cards damage in right here in case you guys can see. So let's do it like this. So this attacks first. This is 19, all right, because that skill doesn't activate until, you know, I restand it. This is going to attack for 25, I believe. Yeah, 25. No trigger. Then this is gonna attack for like 22. So then, you know, when your Perfect Riser attacks, this is going to be 20. You counterblast 2 cards, you restand both, and let's just say, you know, I still have Soul, so let's just use this for example. So I use so I then counterblast 1 to restand this unit over here in the Excel Circle. So then all those units are back up, and let's say you happen to hit double front triggers. Like, yo, I've actually hit double front triggers before. It is absolutely insane. So not only if your opponent has guarded the attack or not, that's still 20,000 power added to your entire front row here. So this on its own would have been a 22k. So that means with 2 front triggers, that's 42k attacking right there. Then with this one right here, this would be like, that was a 17 originally. That's going to be 37, 45 right there. Then right here we have 34, 42 right here. Like, these are hitting over 40k. Like, these are powerful columns. And even if you only just like draw 1 front trigger, maybe like a heal or a draw, like, that's still like units hitting over 30k right there. That's of course, like, you know, you have the optimum setup. But even then, without the optimum setup, like, you know, you can get like a card like this out and your opponent's at like 4 or more damage, and, you know, still, that's gonna like hit Protect clans, Excel clans, you know, it's just gonna hit them really hard. So, so even if like you're doing like, even if you are like, you know, like, oh, I'm probably just gonna run crits as well as front and all that. You can run Rainbow Triggers if you want. But this is my deck, and it's actually proven amazingly. Like, front triggers are no joke, and neither is this deck. So that's just kind of like a showcase of like what my deck can do. Definitely check out my friend's channel, who's actually cameraman right now. He's Alter Games.
Yeah, Alter Games.
Alter Games.
I'm the one with all the altar in the profile picture.
Yeah, if you don't understand that reference, it's Fate. You know, one of the greatest anime series ever created right there. Yeah, Fate right there. You know, on the back of my sleeve, Saber Alter. You know, that's
John Alter, man. John. I think everybody in your video is going to agree. John Alter's better.
Fight me, bro. Salter. Saber
Avenger
Alter.
class.
Saber Alter. Well, guess what? We have a 4-star Saber who's basically like a freaking 5-star.
At least John Alter is one of the more desired units.
She is more desired, but so is Saber Alter. But then but yeah, you know, he also does some videos too. He actually recently started his channel just today, but so far he has about like 2 videos up. He has his own like deck profile of his budget deck, so definitely check that out in case you're like a newer player or maybe just like you don't want to spend too much on the game. And we also have a fight from earlier. And of course, if you check out my channel, I have about 3 videos on fights we had earlier today. He won 2 of them, so that's definitely props on him with that same budget deck. So give him props for that. And I beat him with his own budget deck, which was pretty funny.
It's pretty good.
Yeah. So yeah, it's like definitely check out his channel, show him some love and support. Like and subscribe to this video. Let me know that you guys actually like enjoy my content and such. And of course subscribe to him. Check out what he does. We probably do like these collabs. We're probably gonna do these collabs quite a bit on both of our channels here, as we kind of just like act for cameramen of each other, such. And of course we're friends, so we do funny stuff. Like if you watch my videos, you'll hear me yelling a lot, like ah!
He ain't wrong, trust me.
It's great. So I hope you all have a wonderful night, or day, whatever time zone you're in. Remember, please like and subscribe. Check out my friend's channel. I'm gonna try leaving a link in the description for you guys. So I shall see you guys later. Absolute Genesis out.